Turn back to yesterday's assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. As we stated, Kirk's private security was present at the event, but there are still many questions left unanswered. Let's bring in Joshua Sullivan. He's the managing partner of Discreet Security Services and has provided security detail for previous events featuring Charlie Kirk. Welcome to the show, Joshua.
Thank you for having me. Unfortunately, we have to be here to talk about this.
Yep. Tell us, Charlie Kirk, about Charlie Kirk and your interactions with him.
Yeah, so the few times I got to work with him, the man was who he said he was. He was a God-fearing man. He was a very direct that everybody has the right to speak what your opinion is, and there's a way to do that peacefully to truly debate and get information out on whatever side of the spectrum you're on.
Yeah. When you saw or heard what happened to Kirk, what was your immediate professional reaction?
A lot goes into that. A lot of looking at what the security team in place did, which they did amazing. The cards that they were dealt, they handled it amazing. I saw some background video and some stuff that might not be as out there to most of the public. But his team jumped in, started critical life-saving care immediately, got him to the hospital as fast as they could. So, knowing what they're going through and what they feel, it's heartbreaking. But then also knowing Charlie, knowing the rest of the team at Turning Point, and that his wife and daughters were there. It's heartbreaking. It's a sobering reminder that, we live in a time where, Americans, we need to come together, no matter who you are, what you look like, who you love. Violence is not the answer, and we have to unite around that.
Yeah. When you worked these past events, what specific security protocols were in place to protect them and the crowd?
So I can't go into exact, every client's a little different, and there's always that, acknowledgement of not putting out security protocol for events out there. But there's a lot of things that go into it. There's depending on the need, there's, ballistic wear that the principal can wear. There are different things that you can put in place for shields out, from different lines of sight. There's so many different factors that go into things. But on the private side and not necessarily the government side of things, it's even harder sometimes because you don't have the ability to lock areas down like the federal agents or some of the police departments can. So it's kind of the card that you're dealt, and being able to do what you can do to protect the immediate threat, and then hoping that you have everything in place to be able to protect from there.
Would you say that's one of the biggest vulnerabilities on a college campus?
Absolutely. College campuses are designed to be open and welcoming. One of the reasons that they do that is so that those kids feel that they're not, away from their loved ones at home, right? It's an open, welcoming environment. So when you have a polarizing individual like Charlie is, or, any of those type of speakers, that openness is a threat and a vulnerability. So, there's things that you can do, but at the end of the day, if a bad person wants to do something, you're not always going to be able to stop them.
Yeah. Can you talk to me about how security teams train when an unexpected shot is fired, one single shot in a large crowd?
Absolutely. So the first thing you do is you collapse. We go through training all the time. It's not, a one-time thing and you're out in the street. You train consistently for what to do. You collapse to your target. And you make yourself as big as you can. You go back to like some of the assassinations from the former presidents that have been polarizing in videos out there. You make yourself as big as a target as you can so that you can shield that person. And then it's about, immediately starting that life-saving care that they did a great job of starting. It also goes back to just the individual person. We are, a lot of people don't even realize there was a school shooting in Colorado the same day yesterday. And it goes back to everybody having a level of training, of situational awareness of different things. I'm the chief operating officer of the Alive Active Shooter Survival Training Program as well. And we train for what to do. We train to pay attention if you're in a crowd like that. What are you looking at? Where are your exits at? Where can you go if something happens? And that goes into the security mindset as well. The security mindset of those individuals working the detail have to be, knowledgeable of everything going on and have so many plans ready in case things happen. And again, based on all the videos I've seen and some of the people I know from the ground there, that team did what they were supposed to do and did it great.
All right, Joshua Sullivan, thanks so much for joining us today. Thanks so much for your insight. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.